I call this the deep question, but how are you thinking about or making a lasting impact for generations to come? How do you think about that?
Well, I've reached a point now in my career where people will seek me out and want to have a networking call to figure out where they're headed or what they might want to get involved in. And I always try to make time for that because people made time for me. So that's really important. And we'll hopefully talk a little bit more about this, but I founded a program called Girls with Pearls, and it's leadership for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade girls in communities where they might not have access to the extra support they need to think about themselves as leaders in the school and then leaders in life. And so to me, that's definitely a next generation thing.
Yeah, tell us more about that. When did that get started? And maybe what was the heart behind it when it got started?
For me, I've always worked, volunteered, and a good chunk of my life had a family. And it was when both of my sons were off in college that I wanted to roll up my sleeves a little bit more, and I accepted an opportunity to go to a local school in Avondale, Rockdale Academy. And the program was mentorship for boys. And I thought that was great. But I asked the principal, especially when I sat in the room with all the boys and the leaders from the community, and a little girl was watching from the doorway until she was sent back to class. I asked what was being done for the girls, and watch what you ask about because literally that conversation and that experience led to seeing a need. I was invited by the principal to come spend time with girls, and the girls that she pulled together, that she hand selected. And the program was beautiful. It was beautiful for me. I fell in love with them. The principal, Belinda Tubbs Wallace, had incredible wisdom and vision for the value of having somebody like me come in and spend time with the girls who, wasn't somebody coming in and being paid, the nurse or the social worker, but I was just there, and she kept reminding them if they misbehaved, Miss Sullivan is here, as a volunteer. Please be respectful. And anyway, she and I grew this program. It went into 4 schools just by other people hearing about it. And then to finish out the story, I looked for a home for the program and found a beautiful home. Most Valuable Kids is a local nonprofit that provides events and opportunities for underserved communities. And they saw the opportunity for them to pull it in. So I spent about a year and a half growing the program into 8 schools and reaching about 100 girls a year, of course, until COVID. I missed the girls so much. But so that's what happened there. And I think that's probably something I'll always be the most proud of because it's kind of a legacy thing.
Yeah. And it will make a lasting impact. Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks for sharing. And where do you see that organization going over? I know it might be tough given we're just out of 2020 here, but where do you see that organization going over the next 10 years?
Well, it was really plugging along, and many schools were interested. And what was so great about the way we set it up is it wasn't us or me or the organization coming in and telling them how to run the program. Every school's different. The school leaders at each school are different. And so they had while they had a foundation, and fortunately, we used the curriculum from Boys and Girls Clubs of America. They were wonderful and shared that with us. But they could run the program the way they wanted. And so I really think there is a need for that. And and one of the proudest moments for me was one of our girls ended up becoming class president. And, so like that was the evidence of what we were doing. And so I think it will take time to rebuild. I definitely do, because right now, it was very dependent on time after school and fitting it into a busy school day. And right now, just having school is so challenging. But when things are back to normal, I'm sure after some rebuilding, we'll be back there and in more schools.
Yeah. Well, I have a 3-year-old daughter, so I can appreciate your heart for that organization. That's awesome.